Massive train derailed Friday, 20 of them carrying hazardous materials as flames lit up the sky in northeastern Ohio.
The evacuation order is in place for anyone within a mile radius of the crash site.
These aren't storm clouds. This is the fucking shit! The fucking shit they burn off in East Palestine! This is not fucking storm clouds! Look at it!
This is horrible. I got arrested because I was trying to do a live report about what people need to know.
Officials are claiming that the air and water are safe. Residents say they can still smell chlorine. They've complained about their eyes watering when they go outside, and one woman says the noxious air killed her chickens.
Out of nowhere, he just started coughing really hard and just shut down and went very fast.
Look at all these fucking crows. I'm not kidding. This is within 10 miles of East Palestine.
You have not evacuated. Please leave the area.
It's really all so disheartening, seeing the utter destruction that has become of the once great country that we call our home, the United States of America. And today's episode, while not meant to be a black pill, is supposed to be an awakening and a reminder of the true adversity that we are facing in our last chance to win back this country and to secure our future as a nation. My guest later today in the show, Joshua Alexander, was actually a victim of this crumbling infrastructure and empire, arrested in Canada, as we're going to find out later, for opposing a common sense policy at his high school. And I'm tired of these things happening. I'm really getting tired. Because right as we speak right now, we know that the United States planned the Nord Stream pipeline destruction that may be setting off the stages of World War III. We still haven't heard about Epstein's client list. We have no idea what's going on with the corruption with Hunter Biden's laptop, paying off defense attorneys inside of Ukraine $83,000 a month to keep the crime family out of jail. But of course, over there. Why don't you talk about that? Oh, James O'Keefe over there. Did you see there's a balloon in the sky? Wow, let's all be fascinated and continue to be distracted by the shit show before us rather than actually waking up, opening our eyes and seeing there is a great subversion happening before our very eyes. If you would only look. Welcome back to Slightly Offensive. This is the best, worst show on the internet. My name is Elijah Schaefer, and we have the confetti of despair, confetti of color coming down today. I'm actually not in despair. I'm excited for today's stories because we have to talk about them. The true and utter destruction and division, and we need to get a hold of it before it's too late. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor for today. Don't forget, guys, that in the midst of all of the destruction and decay of what's going on in the world, it is now more important than ever to invest your retirement and savings in a place that can withstand the test of time. Now, I'm tired of the government screwing us over on every corner and these crypto companies getting away with the sham. If you call my friends at Goldco, they can tell you how you can invest your savings into gold and silver, a physical way to protect your savings. Go ahead and call 855-242-4758. You can find their number in the description. You can click the link, fill out the form, and they can find out right now how to get up to $10,000 of free silver. They want to help you. They want to help me. And you need to be able to take control of your financial future. Figure out what you can do with real gold and real silver that has withstood inflation, deflation over the years by continuing to hold its value. Call my friends at Goldco, a special offer for all of my SOB Slightly Offensive backers. Call 855-242-4758. That's 855-242-4758. Now, I'm not one who needs to remind you guys that these are perilous times. It seems like every moment and every day, people are lacking accountability. We are being destroyed. We are being targeted. We are being absolutely undermined. And a good example of that would be my friend here who's paying the real cost. This is a video of a man who was in divorce court who went to prison for 5 years. For 5 years because of a court system that's been designed to favor women, like all of our systems. Now, we all know that they do paternity tests. when they talk about children in terms of custody battles when you're not married. But when you're married, of course, there's always a loophole. There's always a way to make sure that men don't have the truth, that men cannot get their equal rights, that men cannot find their way in life. And this man here, as we see, is an example of all Americans today. We continue to pay the price and suffer the consequences for actions that we never committed. Listen to this. This is absolutely heart-wrenching.
Sir, you claim you spent 5 years in prison for failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan.
That's right.
Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison.
Do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know? That's what this podcast kicks off today. In the fact that not only are we suffering, not only are we paying consequences for crimes that we didn't commit, not only do we continue to get the short end of the stick in countries and nations that we built, that we structured, that we continued to not only devise, but to plan for our future. We continue in these moments like this to find out time and time again the price we paid did not have to be paid, and the guilt that was put on our shoulders was not our guilt. And the entire time, the people who made us suffer, they knew. And there's no accountability these days. There's no accountability for people of color because they get special provision. There's no accountability for the LGBT because, of course, chopping your dick off means that you're special and that you shouldn't have to pay the consequences for your actions. And of course, we know none other than the greatest subversion of all time, which was feminism and this idea of women can do and say whatever they want and continue to have no accountability, no consequences. But do you know who does get consequence? Straight people, white people, Westerners, Christians, people who built this country. You will be held to the highest standard, and you will be held to the greatest apex of all respect while they continue to peck away, destroy, and cut you down and remove the country that you thought you knew, but that doesn't exist anymore. And the world that they have is crumbling. They tell women, oh, you know what? This is your world. Why don't you go to work? Why don't you live your life? If you don't know about this in the West right now, I want to bring this up here. The NHS, the health agency in the United Kingdom, is crumbling. In fact, it's so backlogged and overloaded by a lack of taxpayers and the amount of immigrants they're allowing in. Nothing encapsulates better the state of Western civilization than this video of an Asian woman in a Western country, the UK, saying 7 years of medical school and the worst mental health in my life, to be overworked, underpaid, sitting alone in a hospital dorm room, eating on my own while doing a week of a 12-night shift. And the sad music plays and the orchestra continues and we're supposed to feel bad and supposed to mourn her existence. But the reality is this is what our countries have done. Let's import a nurse from another nation. I checked her accent. She's definitely not from the UK. Let's put her through our free universities that the taxpayers pay. Tell her not to be a mother. Don't be a full-time wife. Don't be a stay-at-home mom. You're going to be happy. You're going to enjoy your time as a worker. Join the healthcare system that, by the way, is collapsing. It's collapsing because there aren't enough taxpayers, because there aren't enough people having children in the country. And so they say, well, then we're going to bring in more people. We're going to screw you over, continue to flood in these immigrants from these Islamic countries, Islamify the entire West, because we're going to give you free services. We're going to help you at the NHS. We're going to give you free healthcare. But there's a catch here. As we bring in the immigrants to support the dying population and bait them in through free social services, guess what? The social services are not going to be there for very much longer. The healthcare that you have is literally collapsing. People are screaming in Western countries. In Canada, it's getting so bad that the only alternative they have for you as a Westerner, when you complain and you cry and you say, I've worked my whole life to live in this country, can I just get a surgery? I fought in a war. Please, please help me. I'm dying. Well, they say, oh, you're dying. Yeah, okay, great. You're dying. How about we help you die quicker? We can't help you with your surgery, but we can give you state-assisted suicide. That will cheer you up. And like this woman here realizes when it's too late, She's nearly past her place where her eggs are probably all but gone. Her ovaries are dried up, and she sits alone posting a TikTok to strangers on the internet to mourn and to grieve the status of this country where the women are worked when they should be home, to support a system that can't support itself, as we are continually replaced right before our very eyes. And even the immigrants, like Asians, who are model citizens and actually work, realize it's not just white people being screwed, but it's all of us who fought hard, who work hard, and try to put into the system rather than take out. And the people in charge and our masters, they know that it's collapsing. They know that it can't sustain itself because it's by design. And like we see with the original video of the explosions that were set off by the government in Palestine and Ohio, the internet makes a joke of Ohio. If you don't get it, you don't understand. Oh, an average Ohio citizen. The flyover states, the white states, the places and the hardworking Americans, who cares about them? Let's blow up their trains, poison their air, kill their cattle, because you know what? They're dying out anyways, because we've sucked their countries dry of the money that we need. We've subverted the people. We've stolen the culture, and that's where we're at. And I'm not at a place where I'm giving up. But it makes you think. It makes you think when you've gotten to a place in society where you go, oh, but it's not that bad, Elijah. It's just not that bad. You're freaking out about it. Now, I'm personally not that upset because I realize that in this country, in this world, if you focus on the outside, if you keep your thoughts on the crumbling, sensationary narratives, if you let the rage machine completely consume you to where everything makes you angry, you watch the Super Bowl and you're mad. That's what they want. They want to drive anger from you so that you stay paralyzed in the hellhole, consuming your Netflix shows. I'm angry at these. They're horrible. They completely go against everything I believe in. Oh, really? They do? Then why do you keep watching them? You have become your enemy, and the subversion has trickled down into a position to where we are defeating ourselves. The people that I know that are the most depressed are depressed because they choose to stay there, because they don't realize that the longer that you're plugged in, the more the subversive distraction has a hold on your life, the more you're just like a puppet, a cog in the machine, and you can't get out. We've gotten to a point where this video here is so amazing. It's so amazing. Everyone is such a victim today that we know that people of color come and they get free services and it's like, oh, but you know, hey. We're still the victims of racism. And women too today. They've never had it better. In fact, women can not only do what they want, they can do more than men. There are scholarships and support and everything to the point that where women are claiming, but we're still victims of harassment and of targeting, to the point to where we're finding out with gyms recently, as they show up in their underwear and make it all up, this gentleman here is blind. He can't see. He has eyes, but he can't see. He himself is not safe from objectifying females and getting in trouble. Listen how crazy this is. This is real.
I'm actually blind. That's a sentence I have to say a lot as a blind person. Once I was in the gym minding my own business on a machine doing whatever exercise, and I hear someone a few meters away say, "Oh, do you like the view?" I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh, we've got a bit of a gym creep here. I wonder what idiot is looking at this poor woman, making her uncomfortable. I don't hear a response from whoever she's talking to, but then I hear again, much closer to me now, "Did you hear me? Why are you staring at me?" Now, I don't look stereotypically blind, but one thing I do, especially when I'm focusing, is just stare into the distance. And it turns out that...
Okay. Sorry, but just to clarify for the audio podcast, this is an audio-only podcast. You can download it on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you can find it. This guy definitely looks blind. His eyes are all over the place. They're cross-eyed. He's either extremely drunk and intoxicated, which I doubt that he is at the gym, or perhaps he's a blind guy. And here's what happens. A woman complains he's a creep. Of course, you might notice, hey, he's blind. Let me go talk to him. Let me see why he's staring at me. And I'll let you guess what happens at the end, but here it is.
I was unfortunately staring right at this woman while she was doing her exercise. I replied to the woman, who's now inches from my face, all up in my area. I say, "I'm very sorry, didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm actually blind. I was not staring at you. I was staring at nothing." She's not having any of it. She tells me to shut up, calls me a creep, storms off, gets a gym worker. I plead my innocence to them, but they are not listening to me. I was removed from the gym that day. The gym should be a safe space where everyone feels comfortable, but I promise...
But the gym shouldn't be a safe space where everyone feels comfortable, because ultimately, as we're going to talk about, the comfort of illusion, the illusion that everybody's the problem except for you. The illusion that as you live in the best time in all of history with the most access to comforts, maybe perhaps we're not in the greatest time in all of history because what we think is true freedom is actually our demise. And the access to all of this entertainment and leisure has made us fat, submissive, and bored. And then when we're bored, we can be controlled because we get angry, we get frustrated. And when we should fix the problem on the inside, we project it on everybody else. To the point to where a man who cannot see gets kicked out of a gym for harassing someone with his sight. I might give up. Sometimes when I watch videos like this, you might be like me. I feel like giving up a little bit because it seems like there's no accountability. There's no accountability. When it comes to the derailment of the train in East Palestine, if you're not following the story, the point is the government released one of the most carcinogenic materials in what they're saying might be worse than Chernobyl in Ohio in terms of the carcinogens causing long-term cancer. I'm not lying. This is what the phrasing was saying from the media there. They're arresting the journalists who are reporting it. Right now, it's 2023, buddy, and they're arresting journalists in the United States, in Ohio, for reporting on a government cover-up of a major explosion of highly toxic carcinogens that is leaking into the groundwater of multiple states now. And we're going to see all over again a repeat and repeat of a cycle. But, hey, you know what? I take that back. There's a balloon over there. Did you see that? Did you see that? There's a balloon over there. That's a balloon. Oh, Steven Crowder's arguing with the Daily Wire. Listen to that. Oh, let's talk about seed oils because that's what's going to happen. You know what's lamer than eating seed oils all the time and not caring about your health? Making your personality about not eating them. Wake the fuck up. That's not what life's about. There are greater things happening. And meanwhile, we're all divided and we're all united in one thing only, which is focusing on shit that doesn't matter.